It's DTS 211, and we have information on the Solstice of Heroes event, as well as that awesome Whisper of the Worm secret exotic mission. All that and more coming up.
You're listening to Destiny, the show.
What is good, everybody, and welcome to the DTS podcast. My name is BBKDRAGOON. I'm joined, as always, by my great co-host, Ditty. What is up, my man? How are you doing on this fine Sunday afternoon?
I'm doing all right. Excited about the Whisper of the Worms showing up this week in Destiny 2. That was a nice, pleasant surprise.
Out of left field, I loved it. Super excited. I know we have freaking gawked on the show over and over and over again about our enjoyment with those hidden missions, and this proved to be another home run. Dude, the jump puzzle visuals were so unexpected, right?
Yeah, it's almost unfortunate that it's timed, because you just want to spend so much time in that area just exploring.
And the difficulty, it's like one of those things where Bungie wasn't scared to stick like, all right, 385 players, have fun and you're dead. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of times I feel like the developers are scared to put that kind of content behind a difficulty wall, because they're like, hey, this is beautiful. We want lots of people to experience it. But then, Ditty, at the end of the entire thing, you get a reward that is actually very worthy of the challenge. This is old school Black Hammer pre-nerf days.
Yeah, absolutely. This was obviously one of my most favorite guns, PvE legend gun, finally in the game, and it's just so great that it's back.
And there's more secrets hidden within, talking about the sort of chest puzzle and that enigmatic blueprint, which we won't even know the answer to for another couple of weeks. If you guys have no idea what we're talking about, don't worry, we're going to hit on in the news. Also going to talk about the Solstice of Heroes event, which will be our final event before we get to Forsaken. What'd you do for fun, though, Ditty, not gaming-wise?
Not gaming-wise? Oh, my goodness. Play with the dogs. I mean, it's
first birthday for Flynn, right?
Whiskey.
Or excuse me, Whiskey.
Whiskey, yeah. He turned 1 this past Tuesday, and he's just a ham as always. Man, his personality shows in pretty much every picture we take of him.
Dude, and you guys had a little birthday hat for him. Where can they follow and see these dorky pictures of your cute dogs?
So they have an Instagram, of course. It's Flynn, FLYNN _ whiskey, WHISKEY.
I can include that in the show notes if you want, so people can just go to destinytheshow.com to follow cute puppy pictures, right?
Yes, absolutely. Pretty much daily at this point.
Nice. You guys are getting on that Instagram grind. Speaking of which, for me, shameless self-promotion, if you guys like mountain bike pictures, at BBKDRAGOON on Instagram. That's how I'm trying to fill up my summer. It's been fun. It's been hot here. I shudder to say that, because you sent me a little screen cap of your heat advisory in Texas, and it was like, what 113? What?
It was 110.
Okay.
When I sent you that picture, which for the Celsius people is about 42, 43 degrees Celsius.
Did you just do that in your head?
No, I have my phone
nice
weather set to Celsius, so I can try and learn.
What a boss.
So I can be cultured, But pretty much every day this week has been over 100 degrees, and it sucks, man. You open the apartment door and it just hits you like a brick wall. And when you pull up the weather app on my phone, there's 3 separate heat advisories. It's just ridiculous.
It's warm across the board in the U.S. I'm hearing it's pretty warm. Why don't we hop into the news, talk about this new event, talk about our probably new favorite mission quest thing in Destiny 2, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Before we get into it, Ditty, I want to say a quick shout out and thanks to Sassy. If you guys are longtime listeners of the show, super good advice with Sassy. He is an Australian Destiny player who let me use the footage of him going through Whisper of the Worm, the heroic version, solo If you want no spoilers, I probably already put text at the beginning of the video if you're watching the show on YouTube. That's the background footage, so enjoy it. And again, if you don't want spoilers, you can just, minimize this deal. All right, Ditty. Solstice of Heroes. It's coming to us July 31st on a Tuesday, so at the very end of this month. What do you think about those new armor sets?
It's really great. I think, man, so it's a throwback to the original armor set that you start Destiny 2 with, which I think is actually really cool. But it's in addition to that, you get to upgrade it as you progress through, or you get a new set as you progress through the Solstice of the Heroes event, which is just super awesome. So after you visit the Statue of Heroes, you'll receive an uncommon Scorched armor set at power 240. And each armor piece is a series of objectives that you'll need to complete to upgrade the armor. And then after you upgrade the Shattered set, you'll get the Rekindled set at power 340 and with a new list of objectives. And then once you complete that, you get the Resplendent armor set at power 400.
And the Resplendent set is gorgeous. These are all kind of remixes on their Scorched counterparts. Ditty, we've had bumpiness in the road with Destiny 2, but when I look back at like these original armor sets and think back to the original like campaign, the reveal event, all that stuff, there's a little bit of nostalgia here. And I love the idea of having series of objectives on each piece of armor that you have to complete in order to get that next set. And some of these, we were talking about some of what these are going to be. It's going to take a while. You're going to have to play probably pretty regularly if you want to knock this out on multiple characters, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And just getting up to power 400, this is going to be pretty much the only and the best way to do that. Also, by the way, if you don't like the look of the upgraded versions, each armor version has the previous set as an ornament. So if you really like the original Scorched version, you can have that as an ornament at power 400 once your objectives are completed.
Pretty darn cool. Also, with the Solstice of Heroes event are going to be 5 story missions that have been given slight alterations and a bit of a remix. So Homecoming, Spark, Payback, 1AU, and Chosen. I like all 5 of those missions, minus the tank one, Payback. I wasn't a giant fan of the tank one, but it'll be fun to go back through those. I'm imagining that's part of the achievement or triumph, or one of the objective sets that you're going to have to complete is go through all 5 of those Redux story missions, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Totally. So along with the moments of triumph that we've talked about that are currently being tracked on Bungie.net, the final 5 triumphs will become available at the beginning of the Solstice of Heroes event, end of July, and will be tracked in-game. Those triumphs will be tracked in-game by bounties that are obtained at the Statue of Heroes. So in the tower are going to be, 3 guardians, big statue, big salt brick looking thing, and you're going to talk to a statue of yourself basically and turn bounties into a giant image of you, Ditty. That's not, narcissistic whatsoever, right?
Just not the farm. Don't put me at the farm with those plebeians, okay?
Man, rip the farm. I think there should be a counter. That would make for a great infographic. How many players revisited the farm after completing the campaign, and just see like the percentage.
Yep.
It looks like there's a new ship, too, alongside all this stuff, and it looks pretty cool, don't you think?
Yes, looks pretty neat.
There is also, as you would expect with an event, the Solstice Engram, available from Tess Everest. You can earn 3 per account by completing the event milestone on each of your characters. No matter what activity you play in D2 during Solstice of Heroes, you'll receive 1 Solstice Engram in addition to the Bright Engram you earn for leveling up. And they show off some of the gear, a few of the ornaments. Oh my gosh, these definitely are the best looking ghosts I've seen so far, and there's a sparrow that looks like a chopper where your character even like sits in a totally different position. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's not a crotch rocket anymore. It's you're in for some chop. Yep.
Yeah. And then a fishing emote. The fishing emote looks awesome, but what I'm wondering is, okay, you've got the animations in the game, Destiny. Time to pull a Warframe and actually put fishing in this game. That's what it needs, and you know it.
On Titan, right? The ocean world, pretty much, of Destiny. So that'd be the perfect spot for it.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about that, like the big sea monster.
Yes.
I'm sad nothing really came about of that. You know what I mean? I feel like they could have done such a great like mission with Jaws kind of music. And anyway, side story.
You take your sparrow underwater, and you have to like. All right. No, that's a pipe dream.
BioShock Destiny. Okay, let's talk about the Secret Whisper of the Worm exotic. This is really cool for players who didn't play D1. We've talked at length about the secret exotics, the timed missions where nobody knew it was coming. It was just discovered by the community, and then it unraveled into something really big. Same story here with the Whisper of the Worm exotic. So if you are on the Lost Oasis portion of Brain Fart Isle, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then the Taken Blight event begins. In that Lost Oasis area, you will see a taken version of Urzok, the Bullet Sponge Hive Knight from D1. So throwback there. If you kill him, he will open up a portal on the map, which you'll be able to see pretty easily when you exit from the cave. Urzok can actually be outside of the cave. I've found that before too. It can also take a while for Urzok to show up. Just FYI, like 30 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes. If he's not showing up during the Taken Blight event in that area, then try and exit the area and come back. I've heard that might work. And then, Ditty, you go underground into a giant frickin' jump puzzle, right?
I think that's an understatement. It's a cavern.
Huge.
Yeah, it's like Dreadnought levels of huge.
It is so cool. What did you think about it, Ditty?
This was... When I first heard about this, I was like, okay, it's a lost sector. But then I actually saw footage of it and all the steps that it was needed. I was blown away. This takes Black Spindle secret mission level to whole new levels of, yeah, this could be in a raid and it would still trip fire teams up.
Yeah, it's cool. It had stuff from like King's Fall where you had the bumpers that would push you off or bounce you off the ledges. Vault of Glass level of scale, and the jump puzzle is long. I mean, it's going to take you 5-6 minutes probably if you're going through it at a decent clip. I know the guys who are soloing it and the speedrunners are getting it down much, much faster and smoother, but dang, it's really stinking cool. And then you get to engage in multiple combat engagements. I said engage twice there within like 3 words. I apologize. I'm leaving the show now. Ditty, take it away.
No, come back.
So you fight lots of stuff, and it's challenging. And 385 Guardians, I've been watching them get absolutely shredded. So be the highest power that you can possibly be going into this challenge. And even then, it can still be pretty tricky for your first go-through. Granted, the really good players are going through it and soloing it at this point, but they are not joking when they're putting a steep barrier of entry. This is not something the 350s are going to want to go and engage with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is not like, okay, can you carry me through this? No, probably not. Yeah,
Yep.
you're pretty much going to be dead weight at that point.
You're going to be killing enemies and blights when you get to the final room. There are 3 bosses to defeat. Dotto's video did note, and I actually didn't think about this when I saw people playing it, but leaving some blights alive during the fight might actually be advantageous to the player. By killing all the blights, he suspected that it triggered more bosses to come onto the playing field at once, and it's already tough to sort of juggle things. If, you know, that you have an Arc Strider, let's say you're running Stormcaller this week, since this is the Arc week, and we'll talk about that in a second, Risk Runner is really stinking good right now.
Yes. Risk Runner is my favorite gun in PvE these days. It's so fun.
And the reward for beating it, Ditty? The Whisper of the Worm. This is pre-nerf. It does not pull ammo from your reserves, my dude.
That is fantastic. I love it. I
So
love
dang
that so
cool.
much. Nerf's incoming. But also, once you complete it, you get something else as well.
Oh, and what
You
might
get
that be?
the heroic version is unlocked, which we've already mentioned. But once you complete it on normal and you receive the Whisper, you can actually... a heroic version of this mission pops up on the map and you can replay it.
Yep. And you're going to have to replay it so you can get the catalyst by completing the heroic version multiple times and taking down, obtain blighted essence from the Whisper heroic to unlock this upgrade. You're basically going to be going back through the mission. And when you do that, you finally get the catalyst for the Whisper of the Worm. And it's, what is it, box something?
I think it's
breath?
box breathing.
Yes. So you're getting a boost to the damage in the distance if you aim down sights for a little bit longer. This is already probably like once we start seeing real deal damage comparisons from Dotto and those guys, I imagine this is going to be a top DPS contender for certain fights, don't you?
I mean, almost most reliable DPS, because when Black Spindle came out and we hit Golgroth with the one bubble strat in King's Fall, easiest damage phase ever of all time.
If you had the full crew running it.
Yep, exactly.
When you finish the Whisper, Bungie will sell you a bundle with an ornament and transmat effect from the Eververse store, and it's called the Between Breaths bundle. The ornament kind of gives the weapon an Ahamkara bone look and a bone skin. You can take this either way. Evil Eververse way, which is like, man, Bungie, couldn't you just do this thing for me? Or the other way, which is like the camp I land in a little bit more, which is, okay, cool quest. Here's an ornament if I want to reach out and spend some silver dust on this thing. If it is a silver dust purchasable package, I don't remember if it is or if it's like real world money. So
yeah,
I'm not
this kind of microtransaction almost seems worth it to me, because it makes the player go through the effort of acquiring this god tier weapon, and it's just a way for us to show appreciation. Yeah, this is what we want. Give us more of this, please.
Yeah,
and of course, depends on the price point, of course, but that is a matter of opinion. But I think this would be some type of microtransaction that I personally would want to support.
Like, let's say they have a spreadsheet that they can show their management, and the purchases for the Between Breaths bundle is like super duper high, and they're like, see, players really like this type of stuff and are supporting these kind of quests. Boom, shakalaka. There you go. But I don't think they probably have. Maybe they do. You never underestimate metrics. You never know what they're looking at. We're being spied on all the time. It's not totally over just yet. There is another secret in regards to this whole deal. So the Enigmatic Blueprint is basically this thing that drops if you complete a puzzle chest. I don't know how much detail to go in here if there's listeners who still want to not have a spoiler, but I'll just say there is a puzzle involving chests that was solved very quickly, and when you solve it, you get a chest that will give you this Enigmatic Blueprint, which would have you do the Whisper with weekly modifiers. So this week is Arc Singe, the next week will be Solar Singe, and then the final week will be Void Singe. When that concludes, we don't know what the Enigmatic Blueprint is going to deliver, but it's safe to assume that they were channeling Vault of Glass vibes here, Ditty, because at a certain point when you're going through the puzzle, you can look through a Vex portal at what appears to be Vault of Glass. And so the rumor is this is the lost 7th chest.
That is really interesting, because on top of this incredibly secret and difficult mission and an amazing reward, you get this extra little cherry on top. And it does say the Enigmatic blueprints are for ships.
Yes.
So it does say complete the Whisper with the following, which is the Arc, the Solar, and the Void Singe to build this ship. So if you see this ship in a few weeks' time, you know how they got it.
Yeah. This is cool. The timing's funky. I don't know if this is to stir up hype leading into Forsaken, but these are the types of content that get me very excited about Destiny, and this would probably be my favorite piece of content in D2 thus far, like outside of... No, I think I like this style of content probably more than anything in D2, just because it activates so many players. It gives a sense of urgency. Let's hop in the game. Let's do it right now. You had no idea it was here. And you get the puzzle people who get to also jump on board, and the raid secret guys who are now going to dig into this, and the lore guys who are going to try and find out what they can from the flavor text of Whisper of the Worm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just great for the community all around on every single angle.
Hard mission, OP gun, and a reward that is worth the challenge of going through the dedication it takes to get to 385 and have a group of people to go in and do this with. So overall, huge thumbs up. Thanks, Bungo. That's the kind of stuff that hopefully we're going to see a lot of in Forsaken. Time will tell. With that said, Ditty, we've got Solstice of Heroes coming up at the end of the month. More Forsaken news is likely around the corner. Knowing the PR cycle, I'm betting the 3 weeks leading up to it is going to be pretty large. I want to look and see what the Black Ops 4 beta date is, because I don't think they're going to overlap their marketing on top of the Black Ops 4 beta week. But as soon as the beta wraps up, I would imagine you're going to start seeing that stuff, right?
Yeah, I think that's, they're both Activision, so that would make sense that they don't overlap.
And Activision generally handles the marketing for all of their projects. Bungie has a hand in it too, and I'm sure they have their own team, but Activision, I think, does the heavier lift when it comes to figuring stuff out. So, okay. All that said, Ditty, Warframe had its dev stream, but I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about on this week's show, especially when we're approaching like the 25-minute mark. So, all right, Forsaken hype. Is it rekindled after this kind of secret whisper of the word mission?
I think so. I think this event or this mission warranted all the hype surrounding it because, man, this is like what you pictured a lot of endgame content or like the Lost Sectors would be in Destiny 2 to begin with, right?
It's interesting that you bring the Lost Sector thing up because it's like, yeah, I mean, maybe not to this high degree, but yeah, I felt like Lost Sectors could have channeled this vibe more.
Or even something like you complete the Lost Sector and then it unlocks a heroic version on the map for you to replay.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, yeah, except for, a faction rally farming method,
I don't know how much production time or effort it takes for them to execute these kind of things, but every time it happens, there's overwhelming positive feedback. So more, please. All right. With that all said, where can people find your content?
Twitter.com/DittyDTS, DITTYDTS, and YouTube.com/Wooshness, WOOOSHNESS.
For all the links from today and more on our website, DestinyTheShow.com. You can join our Discord, discord.me/DestinyTheShow. You can follow us on Twitter @DestinyTheShow. You can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter @BBKDRAGOON. And that's just about it. So have a great week, Guardians, and we will talk to you next time.